Do you remember that story that Erika Jayne shared on one of the recent episodes of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? You know, the Cliff story that we're all confused about? Well, it looks like the Los Angeles reporter that was involved in the infamous LA Times article that Sutton read 3 times, well, they're confirming that the Pasadena police have no record of any sort of car accident involving Tom Girardi back in 2017. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So as you know, we've been following the Erika Jayne, Tom Girardi situation for a while now. And every week, every day, it feels like a news story is coming out. Well, now, according to a new article, an LA reporter is now confirming that the Pasadena police have no evidence of this cliff or car accident that Erika Jayne is talking about on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So let's get into the actual article. So as you may recall, we've seen and heard about this cliff story, not just this past season. It was brought up in past seasons. It was highlighted this season to remind us of this car accident that Erika Jayne had originally told Kyle Richards. And at that time, we only thought it was a very simple car accident. He had a minor injury. I believe it was a broken ankle or something of that nature. To find out this season that it was a broken clavicle, he was unconscious for 12 hours, but then he calls her. It didn't make sense. And we've been saying that. Well, here's some more clarity. LA Times writer Matt Hamilton has confirmed that the Pasadena police have no record of any such accident. This is what he said. I have asked the Pasadena Police Department about any car crash in its vicinity within the time frame in which it was reported on TMZ and discussed on the show, and they don't have any evidence of this crash. And Matt revealed this on the Reality Life with Kate Casey podcast. According to Matt, who along with Harriet Ryan, who wrote the LA Times article that's been discussed multiple times on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and which Sutton read multiple. Well, Sutton was the only one that read the article, let's be real, and maybe Garcelle. The article title is The Legal Titan and the Real Housewife, The Rise and Fall of Tom Girardi and Erika Jayne. So according to Matt, he says there are actually so many different variations of it in terms of there's a cliff and he's unconscious, but he only hurt his ankle. It's very confusing to me. To you, it's confusing to all of us, Matt. So as for the co-writer in that article, Harriet, who also spoke to Kate Casey, she doesn't understand why police weren't called, especially considering the seriousness of the alleged crash. We've been hearing about this for 6 months, 8 months, and trying to look for public records on it. But the Tom loyalists will always tell you that he was supposedly found in his backyard or someone else's backyard, sitting on a lawn chair, completely out of it. It's a very gripping story. I mean, did no one call the police at all? After pointing out that there are certain laws in Los Angeles about reporting accidents to the police, Matt suspected that Erika's story may have been fabricated in an effort to push the narrative that Tom Girardi's supposed mental decline was what led to his current legal scandal. But good old Sutton has said, well, a lot of this litigation has started over 10 years ago. So they go on to say this. I don't know what to make of it, except that it's something that people like to bring up as this external event that led to Tom's downfall, and not what the court records show, which is Tom has been accused of misappropriation and misconduct for years and years and years. And I think that it's harder to face if you haven't tethered yourself and your career to Tom Girardi, champion of justice. If you are on Team Tom, it's very hard to extricate yourself, so that, to me, seems to be what's behind the car crash narrative. As we've said multiple times, something is very fishy about this whole car crash situation. I forget how it even came up, but when it came up, it took so many twists and turns to the point where a lot of the ladies were confused. They were like, what are you talking about, Erika? And if you saw our recent recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, then you saw that we were talking a little bit more about how Erika seems to be playing into a narrative that it's his mental decline. It's his mental decline. Almost not just protecting herself, but also protecting Tom. Because if she doesn't know where the money is and he's in mental decline, then no one knows where the money is. However, Ronald Richards is getting closer and closer. If you saw my video yesterday, we discovered 25 to $28 million in charges on an Amex card for Erika Girardi's company, EJ Global. Either way, the stories keep on coming, and there are a lot of people, not just Ronald Richards, that are onto the case and really looking at everything that's being said on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, what's being said in the past on the show, what's been said on court documents. It is what it is at this point. Erika, I don't know why you're protecting Tom. Maybe because it helps to protect you. But it's not helping you in the court of public opinion at all. Even the conversation when they were talking about victims, Kathy, if you guys aren't watching the after show with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kathy Hilton says, during that scene where she's at the table and she's the one who brings up the victims, she said that was really like the first time that she really heard about everything. And she said she had to go into the bathroom and she was tearful during that. Guys, you have to watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show. I'll talk more about that in another video or maybe another live. But it's very interesting. Erika is not a part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show, but the other ladies are, and they're spilling their real thoughts. Well, not Lisa Rinna, because oddly enough, Lisa Rinna has been protecting Erika, unlike she protected her friend of almost 30 years, Denise Richards, last season. And she brought it up in this most recent episode. But, Ronald Richards is on the case of that, too. And they have a business manager in common. Interesting. Either way, we will be continuing following these stories. Let me know your thoughts on this news story that there really is no records of this accident, which isn't unlikely. But what really happened with this accident? Anyways, guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.